Coucou! Aujourd'hui, vous prenez des notes sur l'imparfait et le plus que parfait. These are two different tenses that are in the past tense in French. We've already looked at the passé composé. Today, we're going to look at these two and their conjugations, and we'll talk a little bit about their usages in these notes today, too. So the imparfait is the first verb tense that we're going to look at. It's one of the easiest, if not the easiest, to form in French. The way you go about forming the imparfait is you actually start by thinking in the present tense. You think of whatever verb it is you want to use, and if you can conjugate it in the new form in the present tense, you're all set. The only thing you do, put it in the new form and take away the ONS. Then, for any verb that you're using, doesn't matter if it's an ER verb, an IR verb, or an RE verb, you can add these 6 endings: AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. So really, the trickiest part is going to be remembering how to conjugate these irregular verbs in the present tense. Now, in the imparfait, there's only one verb that doesn't follow the pattern of conjugate it in the present tense new form, subtract ONS, add the endings, and that's the verb être. We see here that être in the imparfait is written like this: j'étais, tu étais, il était, nous étions, vous étiez, and elles étaient. Every other verb that you come across is going to follow the pattern of put it in the new form in the present, take off ONS, add your imparfait endings. The imparfait, in contrast to the passé composé, for example, is going to be used to describe conditions, often emotions, things that were happening or used to happen or would happen in the past. So often when translated, the imparfait is translated as was or were ing, used to or would do a certain action. We are going to use the imparfait for descriptions. Often in stories, when we are setting the scene, the imparfait is the verb of choice because it allows you to paint the picture. So here are some verbs in the imparfait to practice. Parler, okay, to speak. Then we have the new form, parlons. We just took off the ONS and put our imparfait endings. So je parlais, I was talking, I used to talk, I would talk. Finir, we have the new form, finissons, nous finissons. And then we're using the stem of that new form to give ourselves the imparfait conjugations. Je finissais, tu finissais, nous finissions. Very similar to the new form in the present, just a slightly different ending. Attendre, to wait. So I was waiting. We were waiting. You all used to wait. Connaître, which is to know or be familiar with people and places and concepts. Je connaissais. Il connaissait. Il plural, il connaissait. Now we're going to also talk about the plus que parfait. The plus que parfait is similar to the passé composé because the plus que parfait also has a helping verb, avoir or être. It's made up of 2 parts. So in order to correctly conjugate the plus que parfait, you're always going to be looking for 2 verbs. The way that the plus que parfait connects to the imparfait is that instead of just using avoir or être in the present tense plus the participle, we're going to put avoir or être in the imparfait and then add the participle. And just like with the passé composé, in the plus que parfait with the Dr. and Mrs. Vandertramp verbs and with the reflexive verbs, we're going to see agreement, meaning extra E's or letter S's attached to the participle. And the plus que parfait is used to describe the past of the past. And often we translate this to as had done something, where the passé composé is I went, the pluscuparfait would be I had gone. And that had really lets somebody know that that action occurred slightly before the other passé composé action. So here we have the example parler, j'avais parlé, I had talked. With our verb aller, which is a Dr. and Mrs. Vandertramp verb, j'étais allé, I had gone. Se coucher, this is a reflexive verb. Je m'étais couché, I had gone to bed. So you might use this to say, I had gone to bed by the time my parents came home. And faire, j'avais fait. I had finished my homework, then my dog ate it. In a sentence like that, we would know that the homework was done first, the dog ate it, and both of these events occurred in the past. So there you have it, a little bit of review on forming the imparfait and the pluscuparfait and their uses. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in class. A bientôt.